For years, 9mm has been the go-to choice for countless shooters. I've trained with it, carried it, and kept plenty of it stocked away. But recently, I've noticed more shooters, including experienced carriers and dedicated range regulars, starting to look beyond the traditional favorite. In 2026, it's becoming increasingly clear that several newer and specialized calibers are carving out territory that 9mm once dominated. Today, we're taking a closer look at the cartridges gaining traction among serious shooters and exploring why 9mm isn't automatically the answer for every application anymore. Walk into almost any shooting range in America, and chances are you'll see someone loading magazines full of 9mm. For a long time, that was my setup as well. A Glock 19 on my belt, a case of ammunition in the vehicle, and a platform that simply worked. And honestly, there were plenty of reasons for that. 9mm earned its reputation through a combination of affordability, effectiveness, availability, and shootability. It wasn't necessarily the absolute best at any one thing, but it performed well across nearly every category. Back in the 1980s, NATO adopted 9mm as its standard handgun cartridge. That military adoption influenced law enforcement agencies, and eventually civilian shooters followed suit. After the FBI moved away from .40 Smith & Wesson and conducted extensive ballistic testing, they ultimately returned to 9mm. Modern ammunition technology had improved enough that 9mm could achieve penetration and expansion numbers approaching .40 Smith & Wesson, while offering reduced recoil and increased magazine capacity. That decision triggered a major shift. Law enforcement agencies followed the FBI's lead, and civilian shooters followed them. Then the concealed carry boom accelerated everything further. When pistols like the SIG P365 arrived and offered double-digit capacity in a handgun barely larger than a traditional J-frame revolver, the game changed completely. Recoil remained manageable, firearm designs continued improving, and ammunition stayed widely available and affordable. 9mm became America's default defensive cartridge, not because shooters were forced into it, but because it made practical sense. Today, however, more shooters are exploring alternatives. Let's look at the calibers gaining momentum and examine why they're attracting so much attention. Next up is 5.7 by 28mm. The first time many shooters experience a 5.7 pistol, they immediately notice how different it feels. The cartridge doesn't compete with 9mm by delivering more recoil or heavier bullets. Instead, it focuses on speed, capacity, and controllability. A typical 40-grain projectile leaves a 5-inch barrel at roughly 2,300 feet per second. The result is an exceptionally flat-shooting cartridge that maintains point of impact far beyond distances where many handgun rounds begin dropping noticeably. 5.7 at 25 yards, and you'll often find it remains remarkably close to point of aim even at 75 yards. That flat trajectory is one of its biggest advantages. The bottleneck cartridge design also promotes reliable feeding. Many shooters report exceptionally smooth cycling in firearms like the PSA Rock and FN5-7. The PSA Rock offers 23-round double-stack magazines, while the FN5-7 combines a polymer over steel slide assembly with an internal hammer-fired system and ambidextrous controls. Ruger's offerings feature anodized aluminum slides, hammer-fired actions, and flush-fit magazines holding 20 rounds with reinforced steel feed lips. Ammunition remains expensive, typically ranging from $38 to $50 for premium defensive loads such as Speer Gold Dot or Elite Defender. However, many shooters find the combination of low recoil, high velocity, excellent capacity, and barrier performance worth the additional cost. This isn't a casual plinking cartridge. It's a specialized round designed for shooters who prioritize speed, precision, and extended capability from a handgun platform. Now let's move into heavier territory with 10mm. Pick up a Springfield XDM Elite chambered in 10mm, and you'll immediately realize this cartridge was built with a different purpose in mind. This isn't about mild recoil or maximizing magazine capacity. It's about delivering serious energy and penetration. The growing popularity of 10mm isn't driven by nostalgia. It's driven by demand for increased power, extended range, and greater versatility. A 200-grain Underwood XTP load can achieve velocities around 1,250 feet per second while producing nearly 700 foot-pounds of muzzle energy. That's substantial performance and often exceeds many traditional .357 Magnum loadings, while offering higher capacity and faster follow-up shots from a semi-automatic platform. The Springfield XDM Elite OSP supports this cartridge with features including an optics-ready slide, match-grade 5.25-inch hammer-forged barrel, fiber optic front sight, adjustable rear sight, and a clean braking META trigger. The forged steel slide receives a melanite finish for corrosion resistance, while aggressive grip texturing helps maintain control during recoil. Magazine capacity reaches 16 rounds, providing impressive firepower in a platform capable of handling demanding situations. Ammunition costs typically range from $30 to $45 per box for premium defensive loads. This isn't a cartridge designed for inexpensive range sessions. It's a round commonly chosen by outdoorsmen, hunters, and those traveling in bear country where additional penetration and energy are valuable. For many shooters, 10mm offers an extra margin of capability that 9mm simply can't match. The next cartridge is .357 SIG. Many shooters overlook .357 SIG until they spend time behind the trigger. Once they do, the appeal becomes much easier to understand. This cartridge is created by necking down a .40 Smith & Wesson case to accept a 9mm projectile. The result is a fast, flat-shooting round designed specifically for superior barrier performance. A 125-grain Spear Gold Dot load can reach approximately 1,400 feet per second. That's genuine velocity, not simply a hotter version of 9mm. The cartridge maintains a flat trajectory beyond 50 yards and performs well after passing through common intermediate barriers such as automotive glass and vehicle doors. The SIG P229 remains one of the most recognized platforms chambered for this cartridge. Its stainless steel slide, machined from bar stock, and durable alloy frame are built to withstand the additional pressure and recoil impulse associated with .357 SIG. The locking surfaces are reinforced compared to some 9mm variants, and the recoil system is engineered specifically around the cartridge's operating characteristics. Shooters who choose .357 SIG typically aren't looking for trends or novelty. They're looking for velocity, accuracy, and strong performance against hard targets. Last but certainly not least is .22 TCM. Take a Rock Island Armory .22 TCM 1911 to the range and you'll quickly attract attention. The sharp report and impressive muzzle blast stand out immediately. Unlike many alternative cartridges, .22 TCM isn't merely attempting to be different. It offers a genuinely unique combination of velocity, recoil control, and performance. The cartridge is based on a shortened .223 Remington case and launches a 40-grain projectile at approximately 2,000 feet per second from a 5-inch barrel. That kind of speed produces a remarkably flat trajectory while maintaining relatively soft recoil. The result feels almost contradictory. Shooters get rifle-like velocity with recoil levels that remain lighter than many 9mm loads. Rock Island Armory serves as the primary platform for the caliber. The standard full-size 1911 model features a Parkerized steel frame, fiber optic front sight, skeletonized hammer and trigger, and a 5-inch ramped barrel specifically designed for the cartridge's pressure characteristics. The pistol uses a delayed blowback operating system tuned for .22 TCM. One of its most attractive features is the included 9mm conversion barrel and recoil spring, allowing shooters to swap calibers easily. Magazine capacity ranges from 10 to 17 rounds depending on the specific model. Ammunition generally costs between $25 and $35 per 50-round box, with Armscore serving as the primary manufacturer. While ammunition choices remain somewhat limited, the payoff is a cartridge capable of delivering rifle-like velocity from a handgun platform that feels remarkably controllable. Walk into a quality gun shop today and you'll notice the conversation around 9mm has changed. It's still the most common defensive handgun cartridge in America, and for good reason. It remains affordable, effective, and widely available. But more shooters are now selecting cartridges based on specific needs rather than defaulting automatically to 9mm. Some prefer the barrier penetration and velocity of .357 SIG. Others appreciate the raw power of 10mm. Many are drawn to the speed and capacity offered by 5.7 by 28mm. 30 Super Carry appeals to concealed carriers looking for additional rounds in the same size handgun, while .22 TCM offers a truly unique blend of velocity and controllability. These calibers aren't simply alternatives for the sake of being different. They're solutions designed for particular roles where 9mm may not always be the optimal choice. The biggest change is that shooters now have more viable options than ever before. Firearm availability continues to improve, ammunition selection keeps expanding, and modern defensive loads are pushing performance to new levels. 9mm isn't going away anytime soon. But in 2026, it's no longer the only answer serious shooters are considering.